motion to appoint Vicky as community activities director.
I'll second that.
Second by Sharon. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, we are without a clerk. And I have a letter here from Vicky.
Vicky,
I mean,
Tammy. The resignation.
Should I read the resignation letters first, then do the thing from
Yeah.
Vicky?
yeah,
Okay, I have a resignation letter from Tammy, says to whom it may concern, I, Tammy Williams, am resigning from City of Powhattan on 1/13/25 due to personal reasons. Thanks everyone for letting me be a part of our team. Best wishes, Tammy. Also, Joe, our meter reader, has put in his resignation in. To whom it may concern, I, Joe Williams, am resigning from the City of Powhattan as of 1/13. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your team. God bless, Joe Williams. So we now need a meter reader and a clerk.
okay.
I tried to fill that either either. I tried to fill that one position today, but got told no.
Do what?
I tried to get somebody to take the meter reader today, but they told me no.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, we may have to advertise for that. If somebody in the city would be interested
I
in
have
doing
a
it.
question on that, Mr. Mayor. Is there anything stating when we get a meter reader that they have to be within the city? Can they be within Brown County? I mean, I don't think there's anything in our ordinances or anything that says anything that it has to be somebody that's in the city.
I don't know.
I don't
The water and
think so.
sewer people are not from
That's
the
right.
city.
Right.
So
Yeah,
I
there's rules
don't
in
know
law,
if that's a
Yeah,
requirement or
we're-
not.
Yeah.
So,
I don't think there's any regulations covering that.
so just before we start thinking about it, if we advertise, then we would know what direction to go with that. That's why I asked.
According to the league, they have to be in the county or surround the county areas.
Yes.
Well, I would prefer somebody in town if we can find somebody.
Right.
Because we're here every day and,
Yeah.
I mean, they can read meters in a day or two. I don't know, Joe, if he did it in one day, I don't know. I think he usually did it around the 20th of the month, I'd seen him read meters.
We did in a day.
A day?
We did years ago.
Yeah,
2 or 3 hours we were done.
yeah. So I would prefer somebody in town if we can find
Yeah,
somebody
we
that'll
can,
do the
yeah.
job.
Yeah.
That's not something, I'm not gonna read meters this month and probably next month either.
Probably
No,
not.
it'll probably be estimated for a little while,
Yeah.
because once you get those meters, there's gonna be water and, muddy and,
And getting to them, 'cause
yeah.
who knows where they're at.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that worked out pretty good for us before, and we were estimating those couple of months or whatever it was. The meter reader couldn't get to them. So we never heard any real complaints about it.
So whose job is it, Joe's job to read the meter, and who made out the water bills?
Yeah.
Tammy?
The clerk.
Tammy
The
made out
clerk
the water
voice
bills.
goes, yeah.
Okay, now then, I have a letter here from Vicky. And it says, I, Vicky Sheets, would like to, oh, that ain't it.
She had 2 letters to you,
That I, Vicky Sheets, would be interested in the Powhattan City Clerk's position for Powhattan City Council. I have over 35 years of experience in being a secretary. I've been a secretary for various clubs and organizations through 4-H Club, 4-H boards, and several different organizations throughout my years. I have lots of business experience as well. I went to Highland Community College of Business Administration and got my associate degree, and I'm currently employed with Brown County Special Education for the last 14 years, and my skills have come in handy. I would like to be considered for the position of Powhattan City Clerk, Secretary for Powhattan City Council. Do we have any comments?
she's well qualified, I was wondering, do we have to advertise it before we choose somebody?
No.
I
Were
don't
you
think
guys ever? No.
They didn't advertise it when they hired us.
Okay. Well, then I'm voting now.
Yeah.
If
Why
one's
not?
gonna go vote.
Yeah.
Okay,
Now, was that a vote for
yeah, well, let's entertain a motion to accept Vicky's
Yeah.
application for city clerk.
Okay. I motion that we accept your application.
Sherry makes a motion.
Second.
Second,
I second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carried. Vicky, you want to assume the position?
Start taking notes.
Number all in favor?
All right, we are moving along here with bringing guns.
She wasn't expecting it. Maybe you want to paper.
Some sort of people.
Okay, presentation of bills?
So, excuse me, you don't have minutes from the last meeting?
No, we don't have.
She brought them all in, but they're not typed up, they're just a bunch of chicken scratches that I've gotta go through and actually do everything minutes. So the minutes for December will be late, cause I got mine and hers, and I have the video to try to figure out some minutes to type up for
We
December.
have just, I have just notes and I think you have notes too.
You can pass them to the new secretary.
I'd like to type up the minutes, if I pass you all the notes.
Yes, sir.
Hey, there we go.
And maybe you jump right in.
We got this, it's true.
Yeah, Jim's got a tape of it too.
I work with special education, I think I can handle some chicken scratches.
And if you go on YouTube, you can get the video from the
Right.
meeting, so.
All right.
Jim is on the tape too.
Pretty good for that.
Okay, treasurer's report for December 24. City clerk got $230.87. City treasurer got $277.05. Our street lights were $343.96. Our Legion Hall was $132.32. We paid the IRS taxes, $27.85. Our league fees, our yearly dues are $308.79. Hiawatha Farm and Home, we had some stuff for the dump truck, which was $224.85. And then we got credit because he took some stuff back, so next month it'll be less. Kissinger Heating, the furnace cost $5,053. My laptop that I have at the house is, we had to have it fixed because Tammy wasn't wanting to share the laptop, so I had my own laptop and I had to get it fixed. It was $94.60. We got propane, which is $341. The bee removal was $300 even. And we paid the waste operator was $100. Our water operator was $200. Our meter reader is $100. The barn it went up from $26 to $29 now. The pump house would be $85.79. We used 175 units of water, which was $280. Our debt was $430. Tammy got stamps for the meter cards, $73. Roland did a consultant for somebody's meter that they didn't think it was wrong and it was right, and it was $40. Our water fees were $54.74. Joe fixed my faucet in the office because it would not shut off. It just kept constantly running, $75. Our bank balances are, for general, is $18,140.55. For water, it's $38,849.38. Our GN Bank, the interest was $232.08, leaving the balance of $37,440.38. $467.78. Any questions?
Motion to accept the treasurer's report.
I make a motion to accept.
Aye.
Second. Did you second? I didn't hear a second, I just heard her say aye, I didn't know.
I thought you seconded it.
You seconded it.
All in favor? Motion carried.
I have the fuel card for the city, and I would like to present it to Dale, since how he is the street and equipment person. That way he has it if he needs stuff, because he had to track down stuff, buy stuff for himself, and I have to pay him back from the city. It'd be easier if he just has the card.
Yes.
Definitely.
Motion.
Make a motion that she gives the card to Dale.
I second.
Aye.
All in favor? Motion carried.
Also, I have, our Microsoft that we do all of our stuff on, that since we've been digitizing everything, we are running out of room. It is $69 a year, and it will give me 1 terabyte instead of the 5 gigs that we got, because I'm like right there at the very end of running out of room to digitize all of our bookwork. And I need to know if I can purchase the $69 1 year for a terabyte, so we have more room to put all of the stuff on the computer.
No. Where you, is that one of those?
No, that's through Microsoft. It's on the cloud.
Loud,
What's it gonna rain up there?
Right.
Oh, is that the,
Really?
I got one all that?
That's
Oh, I just paid one.
yeah, that's for, it's for Excel and the Word pad and to make all the things that I give you guys. But it makes these and saves them.
Okay, so, I have a question, next administration comes in and change treasurer, is that something they can,
It'll stay on. All I gotta do is give them, see, all I'll have to do is give her the password, and we can share the same site, and it keeps going.
so your computer's about full, is that what you're saying?
The Microsoft part of it is about full, yes.
$69 a year?
It should be in your packet. There's, if you look in the packet I gave you,
No.
the packet, the mail envelope.
yeah.
Are these envelopes back?
No, you can have. You're welcome.
Put your papers back there.
I already lost my folder. I mean,
The packets include the 10 years stretch that I did, and it also has this year's, just this year's in there too, of everything that, all the expensive and income that I could find in there. I don't know if I got it all, but I've got most of it, and I put it all in spreadsheets.
I'll make a motion that we, allow Shelley to expand the Microsoft storage capacity to 1 terabyte.
I second it.
Aye.
Okay. All in favor? Aye, aye, okay, carried. Okay, whole business.
Has David ever got
Tracy?
back with us?
No, David has not got back to us.
Did he talk to you, Jim?
Yeah.
Did he look it over or anything? Did he come and look at the, are we talking about David Barnes?
Yeah.
Okay. Did he come and look at the room or? You don't know?
Yeah, I told him about here where we wanted to go
Okay.
and dropped it down there and took him in there and showed him what we wanted in there
Okay.
and some other little things that wanted in there. And he said,
Get back to it.
Finish up here.
come in and get it back to us, and since then I haven't heard anymore.
Okay.
I have since then put new carpet in the office. I got a new computer, a new printer for the office, because the other one just would not print anymore. It was completely shot. And I got new binders for the ones that were falling apart.
Okay,
That looks nice.
I've got on old business on the D, situation.
Yeah.
Bob Hall came up, don't know what day it was, can't remember, sometime before the end of the year.
before it got cold.
Yeah, before it got cold. And we
Before the
went,
snow hit.
we went up and cut a hole in the floor up there from above. The height was about 7.5 feet long, the width of the floor joist, which is about 13.5 inches.
Wow,
Wasn't all full of honey, about a third maybe.
yeah.
We got all that out, Bob took it down to his house, burned it with the next brush pile burning,
Yeah.
so won't have to worry about that. So that's done, should be no more leaking through the floor, cause there's nothing up there to leak.
I think we had about five or six 5-gallon buckets
Yeah.
Really?
clear full of.
Well, I could see what was dripping through then.
And we saw no bees, no carcasses or anything, so whether those bees were already dead, I can't imagine if they've already decomposed in 3 weeks or a month, whatever it was when they were here. So they may have already been gone and the hive dead, but we paid to have killed anyway, so.
Well, it's good that it's all sealed off out there and there was none of it
Sealed
ever
off
got in
outside,
there.
yeah.
That was a good thing to do.
So that's done.
That's good. Okay, Tracy,
Yes,
as far as go on and get training for the blue, have you given that any more thought?
I have, I wouldn't mind getting my license, but I like having Roland, so that,
Roland is the water guy, we need a waste guy.
oh. So I'd be replacing Schroyer,
Yeah.
okay.
But you're thinking Roland would be able to help you get through that, or is that what you mean, until you get certified, or?
Well, I didn't know which was which
Yeah.
with those two, so,
Yeah, cause Bill, he will not give me any kind of, he just sits there and gets his $100 a month. He doesn't
come out.
communicate with us at all, he won't send me nothing, no receipts, no invoices, no nothing. And I don't even think I've ever seen him in town.
yeah,
Well, I
You're just paying $100 for his certification. Is what
Yeah,
I,
so I'm just paying $100 for
just
his
the
license,
use of his
and you don't even
license.
want to do nothing.
Yeah.
That's all we're doing. You could check it more.
But the operator itself has to do the work out there. Where's that rock stuff?
Lagoon.
At the lagoon,
What's that?
that rock stuff, I forget what they call it.
Rip rap.
Yeah,
Riprap.
he'd be responsible for putting that in the right places and stuff like that.
Well, maybe Roland has his water certificate, does he also have a wastewater, where he could help Tracy, I mean,
He
He,
probably could guide.
he had one, but he let it lapse,
Oh,
so
okay.
he doesn't want another one.
so if he's
But I'm sure he could
familiar,
probably teach him
he's
how to
familiar with
stuff
it,
to
it
be done.
would be required. Do you know Roland?
Yeah, I know Roland.
You do?
Yeah, we're on the board together, the
Okay,
27.
well, maybe you could visit with him and ask him if he'd be willing to
Yeah,
tutor you or help you along on that if you decide you wanna do that.
yeah.
I'm sure he would, I don't know Roland myself, but.
Yeah, I'm sure he would too. Like we mentioned to you before, that the city would pay for your training, because you'd have to go down to Topeka to take that training and so forth.
Somebody said you can do most of it online, you just have to go to Peak to take the test.
Okay. Alright.
Yeah, everything pretty much online anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you wanna visit with him and
Yeah.
get back with us next month maybe and
Yeah,
tell us
I'll
what
talk
you.
to Roland. I think it's this month we had a meeting, so.
Okay. The Legion,
Mayor,
yes,
our members, got together just recently and they've authorized me to say that we are willing to purchase liability insurance up to $1 million liability insurance. It's contingent on, we want to get a signed agreement on the use of the Legion Hall, on that, so, and, we're prepared to move forward. I understand that the lawyers have been going back and forth on the language on the agreement. Hopefully that's gonna get that worked out. We fully intend on getting the ceiling tiles put in here. Hopefully within the next couple months or so, hopefully we'll get the guys and get enough help together to do the ceiling tiles. We're fully intent on moving forward with that. But we'd like to have that agreement signed, and so there's no question here on the use of facilities for any event that we may sponsor or do by the Legion. Do you have any questions on that, or?
Well, I talked to the, gentleman down in Horton, and, he told me, he said that, any kind of activity in there, if somebody wanted to have a family affair or something in there, that they would have to have their own insurance.
Wouldn't that be if you say rent out for another function or something like that? You know, wouldn't that come under the city's insurance?
Well, that's what I asked him, and he said that as long as if there was an accident outside of the building, that our insurance would cover that. But if there was an accident with somebody having a party in there, and then having an accident in there, that they would have to have their own insurance. Our insurance would cover, liability. But I mean, you know, that's, what is that, a couple thousand or something like that. But beyond that, any cost would have to be, participant, one is injured, would have to suffer those costs.
And that was Stuart Matheson and
Yeah.
Horton with our insurance.
So I don't quite understand. So if my family, I want to have a family, and
Yeah.
I would have to buy insurance myself to cover that?
Well, you already have insurance to cover anything that would happen to you, right?
In here?
Yeah,
Well,
your
wherever
home-
you
your
are,
home
do you have
insurance would
something that
cover
would
you
cover you?
anywhere you are.
But I thought that when we made up that, agreement, if they sign that agreement, they're responsible for, if they got hurt or something, they're responsible for themselves. That's why I make them sign that paper when they rent this place. So
Like
why
he-
would they have to get insurance?
Well, I guess if it's,
Well, I'm sure most everybody nowadays has got their own health insurance.
well, they got their home insurance usually will cover, like if they have an accident in here, you know.
So essentially, I don't see a problem there.
I don't know. So he said essentially if, you would, just write the city of Waver, you know, not hold the city liable for
Go ahead.
any accidents while you're working in there.
Could we recognize Robert here a minute?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, our attorney has worked that hold harmless agreement that we've discussed in the past.
Mhm.
He's working with your attorney to amend that so that people that use this facility would, if Dale brought his family in, then Dale would be responsible. He'd have to sign that hold harmless agreement saying that my family won't sue. And he said he's trying to get that to cover the city also, not just the Legion, but the city. And that's probably part of what's delaying this, is trying to get the wording right on that.
I see what he's saying, yeah.
Well, anyway, that's the gist of what he told me. That, if you would write to the city of Waver, like if you're doing the work in there and anybody gets hurt, that the city's not gonna be liable for it.
Right.
He said, we could go with that.
Does the lawyer have to draw that up, or?
Does it have to be notarized or anything?
I don't have
I'm
any
not sure
idea.
everything legal.
Yeah,
Well, I don't know, this is a no-fault state. I was in a car accident and my insurance company had to pay for it, even though I
I
wasn't
think when
driving.
these two attorneys get the words right, we'll get both those documents. We'll get a hold harmless agreement and a contract for the legal use of the building.
I sure don't know what's taking them so long.
Well, my experience with attorneys is you have to put a chalk mark by their heels to see if they're doing anything.
Yeah, see if they moved here.
See if they're moving.
I know, I went over there and talked to Olson, and I told him, I said, let's just get this thing done one way or the other. You know, either we're going forward or we're just gonna shut her up or do, what do you, we don't wanna.
Well, our members have authorized me I can sign that agreement on behalf of the Winter Post for that, so if we can just move ahead on it, so we'll be prepared to get the ceiling tiles worked and maybe other things done in the future here too,
Yeah,
if, once we get that going.
yeah. Well, I think
we've held up long enough. I think it's time to Legion move forward with their project. We get all the waivers signed or.
Well, I don't see any reason why, if we could get a waiver, right away, that would take care of the whole situation, and let the terminology.
I'm sure we'll have one long before we're ready to go in there and start working. Cause right now, nobody wants to travel around the snow, and pretty soon it's gonna be muddy, so we'll have time then.
I think as far as, Legion talk, so.
Yeah. I just got some new medication.
Yeah, I do, I wonder.
It makes you healthier than.
I really don't think it'll take too long once we start, because if we put a scaffold in there and have a couple of guys on the ground handing material up to the guys that are working up on the scaffold, it ought to move along pretty quickly.
Yeah. Okay, then, we can, be expecting a waiver from you guys shortly, right? And I'll call Olson again and tell him that, get a move on this
If we
thing.
do a motion tonight, and then if they get the waiver, then they can go ahead and start anytime after we get that. I'll make a motion that once we receive a waiver from Legion, they can start their remodel project.
Any comments?
I'll second this motion.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
All in favor, motion carried. And, the, trees in the park. Sarah, why don't you explain that to us again, everybody? But
Well, Jackie and Sharon wrote a grant for the Ruth and Roger Wolf Trust, and they will make a decision mid-February. And I think $2,500 is what they requested for stump removal. In the meantime, Dennis and Dean and Dad, Dale, have been cutting and working on the trees in the park, along with, I think, some other people, hauling them off. And Dad was unaware of the grant, but he said, you can go to Sabetha, because he's done it for us, and rent a grinder, and just take care of those. And I said, well, hold off, because they might get a grant and pay for that. So that's kind of where you are. But if you'd rather spend that money with tip-top tree towards cutting down some of those trees the guys can't reach or kind of more dangerous with the electrical line, if you get the grant, you could maybe put that money towards those trees and then let the guys just grind the stumps out. They do good work. I'll vouch for him. So that's kind of where Sharon and Jackie are with the grant.
Okay, so,
We're in love.
$250 a stump, was that what you had
Approximately,
last month's meeting?
yeah,
That's, yeah, the note
approximately,
on it,
that's what it would be.
to grind them off, okay.
so,
And they did a good job of grinding them out, I mean, they, on
Yeah, I
mine, they
see
went
here, you
down
can't even
a
see.
long way, and you can't even, other than the wood chips, you can't even tell that there's a tree there.
That was,
It was my mistake,
Oh,
'cause it was
yeah.
covered with snow and I couldn't see it when I was crossing the yard.
You could rent a grinder, a pretty good sized grinder from up by Sabetha for a couple $100, $300. They're pretty good about letting you keep it for several days.
so, what Sarah's saying that, if we got the grant for 2,500, rather than paying the tree top, that money, to take out those stumps, that, did you say your dad and somebody else would be?
Dean and Dennis Winger.
Yeah, they would rent that,
Mm-hmm.
that grinder and stump remover and do it for us.
Mm-hmm.
And we could use that 2,500 toward getting the other trees cut down.
Is it a problem, Sarah, do you know that, if we are awarded the grant, that it's not used for what was specified?
Well, it was used for stump removal.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if you talk to Eric at the bank, he can, I talked to him after we got the benches because there was a little glitch there, but I think he visits with the committee and they can massage it a little bit and say, you know, we've got some committee people that can work on the stumps, but we still need some trees removed
I see.
or some such thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My
So
feet are going down.
it'd be something to visit with them.
He was here last month, too.
Oh, is that right? He visits you then.
Is that my one that comes and dances and plays?
And it may be that the stumps are so large that Tip Top Tree has to remove them.
I put two down and there's mouse fur in it, but they keep going right over them.
Okay.
They must think they do either.
Little pack.
You only live to sell.
What big critter run around over there?
They don't try to get out. They're watching the TV. And it doesn't hurt all of the
Okay, new business. Dale, I think you had something to do, to talk about the,
Yeah.
truck and that skid loader.
Yeah, I was gonna talk about fuel card, but that's been taken care of. The skid steer, we had trouble. I'm not familiar with diesel, so this is new experience for me. And, we had the unit gel up,
I think.
well, before.
Oh, yeah.
And so we talked to people and they said, well, that's what it sounds like, it did, it gelled up. So we got some additive and put in the fuel tanks, the truck and the skid steer. Put a new filter on, put on a magnetic block heater. And once we got the new filter on, fuel in with additive started, run great. Cleaned the streets the best we could for the amount of snow we had. And then the other night Barry was using it, got low on fuel, we went to the gas station, got 10 gallon of diesel and put in it. I assumed that the diesel was already treated, but it must not have been because it.
John says, I was talking to John today about it, he said it's kind of halfway treated, it's not treated real well.
Okay.
He said every time you use it, when they use it or whatever, they put additive in
Okay.
when they.
I did not know that, we didn't add additive, so it's, again, we think it's gelled up at the present time. So we're gonna have to get another filter, additive to put in it, and try to get it going again. Patrick Quilter, it quit in the middle of the street, so he's blocking the street going down to the school. So Patrick Quilter come out, we tried to get it going with starting fluid to run to get the I thought it was an airlock or something in there, but it never did suck the fuel up, so he hooked on it, and we had to take a solenoid out so that it wasn't locked. He pulled it back over to the building, and that's where it's sitting now. Barry's gonna get another filter, and we're gonna try the additive and get that going again. Okay, that's where that's at. Now the truck, we put the blade on the truck, got it out. Barry made about 1.5 rounds, and the air dryer on the truck brakes locked. I was sitting in the middle of the street, couldn't move because it couldn't deal with that pressure. Let it set for about 4 or 5 hours, and then was able to start it and move it. But, I'm going to go ahead and get a air dryer and put on there. If everything fits, then I'll present a bill to the city. It's gonna be around $200 if everything works. Hopefully it does, because the truck makes a big difference and it's good as skid steer. So, but the blade works fine, and just that and Shelley mentioned that the truck wouldn't stay running and usually, is that the reason? Did the brakes lock? Is that what it did?
No, it just, they put a new alternator on it, they put new batteries in it, it just would not stay running.
It runs good now.
Yeah, we had it running. I mean, it runs. He drove it out around the country, but then that air dryer started leaking. So that's where we're at on the truck. Also, I don't know who all was on the insurance to drive those vehicles. I don't know if I'm on. I don't know. I know Barry's on because he was approved.
Barry's on probation, but he is approved to drive them.
There you go.
A lot of negative stuff tonight.
I talked to the insurance guy again down in Holton about that, and he says it's not necessary that we have to have any names on
As
there.
long as they're authorized.
He
by
says
the
as
city.
long as they're authorized by the city,
Okay.
they'll be covered. He said, but if you want to, you can add anybody's name to it.
Okay.
Okay.
Another.
If I don't go down and, if I don't tell Stuart an actual name, then you only get liability. But if you actually get hurt, need medical and all that other stuff, if I put your name on there, then it's covered.
Yes, you gotta have
So
your name
I'll
and
put yours
driver's
and Barry's
license.
name actually on the insurance. Is there anyone else that you need on there?
You need,
Shouldn't be.
Well, eventually you'll have to have Tracy on there. It's hard to do riprap without a skid loader.
Yeah, okay, Tracy, but, you'll need their driver's license.
I need your driver's license number, your social security number.
Yeah.
Terry Brown, I don't know, Vicki, if you're familiar with this, somebody. Terry Brown, a couple of years ago, did work for the city down at the Methodist Church. And evidently, he did not take pay, he took skid loader hours as pay. And he said he did it for 10 hours, the labor cost 10 hours skid loader time. He said, it's been documented up here. Are you familiar with it, Shelley?
I'm